Good evening, fellow citizens of Clouds County in the United States. So, once again, we embark on our journey of ending corruption in the town. I'm waiting to see. It says that I'm offline, but let's do a refresh. So, it looks like we're in business here shortly. So, anyways, let's get to it. We're live. I wanted to tell you guys, this is one of the only ways that you can really look up the law. Justia is one of the really good, but you can see, you've got the view the Georgia 2016 code, but this one right here, we got 2010. You can see that this is older, but I don't believe we can double check and see if it's been uh, updated or changed in any kind of way, but I don't believe that it actually has. So this right here is our chat. So I just wanted to just test to see where it might show up, and it looks like there it is. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll keep it like right there, I guess, because I'm not really going to be responding unless I'll obviously tell you. um, but anyways, this is kind of hanging over the edge here. I'll change it if I need to, but let's get into the malicious prosecution, false arrest, false imprisonment, all the stuff that basically happens with a malicious prosecution, because that's all that this abusive litigation, see, this is all this stuff applies to myself. So if I have a following in any way, I would suggest that you talk to me, you call me, and we're going to settle for this. Now, you think long and hard how you want to settle for this, because do you really think that I'm going to stop? I'm not going to stop. You're going to see more. And I just don't want to. I'm not threatening anything. We're going to settle, or we're going all the way to court. So, you guys want to push this stuff? I want to read this verbatim, okay? Georgia Code. Any criminal prosecution which is carried on maliciously without any probable cause and which causes damage to the person prosecuted shall give him a cause of action. There's a period right after that, isn't there? Yeah. Yeah, you got a disclaimer here, but we know what this is. This is not going to change. I'd like to see what's up here. I want to know also, let's get some insight on what it takes to actually be a police officer. I don't know if this guy will get on camera or not and tell you, but I'll tell you what the hell he told me. Well, he told somebody that told somebody that told myself. Let's put it like that, straightforward, to all up in your face, okay? This guy goes to, Valdosta State. I mean, I'm sorry. I was about to say Valdosta State University Police, but it was the Valdosta Police Department. Going to go get a job, and was told that whenever he described what he thought it was to be an officer, he was told that revenue generation was the key, and that revenue generation was the answer to being a police officer, and that was the primary duty. And I am not making this up. This is just, it's just like I don't have to prove anything. I think you guys have seen enough videos to know the cops are blatantly talking about violating rights of citizens. So, no, it's not a conspiracy theory or anything like that. I am not crazy. I'm not insane. I'm reading to you law. I know what I did when I was locked up. maliciously. And wow, okay, so how do you prove malicious? Let's look at that word. Let's look up malicious prosecution. And let's what is it? What is malice? How do you prove it? What's malice? There's Oklahoma statute. So we got so I guess I would have to type in Georgia. So we just go on these little journeys, guys. That's all we're doing right now until the countdown. And I'm telling you what I'm going to do. So you guys can call me. You can settle with me. I already told you what I'll settle with, or just talk to me and we'll get this over with. But I'm going to take the funds that I get from this lawsuit because this is a guaranteed lawsuit, a blank check. I'm not going, like I said, I'm not just talking about this Mulvaney Busby, Scott Goodwin, Chris Prine, you know, whoever else was involved with this garbage. I'm not just talking about you jokers. I'm talking about all of you collectively. I've got you all, okay? So I don't know what you need to do. You need to pack your bags. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. This is not a game. You think I'm making this up? You want me to show you my case? You want me to literally wrap? When I said, oh yeah, let me clarify something. Somebody was wondering like how I would be possibly able to wrap my cases around the courthouse because it's so big. Okay, let me explain to you why. Because when I first got involved with all of this garbage back from 1998, so we're talking almost 20 years, buddy. I've been involved with this whole system from the ground up, grassroots, buddy, from the grass freaking roots, all the way from the ground up. And I'm sorry, I get a little frustrated. Okay, but way back then, whenever you got your motion for discovery, you would get a huge pack of paperwork. Every single inmate, I mean, whenever they would get their name called out and you would see them getting this package delivered to them this thick, more than that, some of them. And you know why? Because they included the rap sheet of every single inmate within the packet. So what did they do? They figured out that Langdale's getting, pleased by this, right? Because, it's a lot of trees you're burning there, right? But the ink probably costs a lot of money, doesn't it? It costs a lot of money. Yeah, and not only that, the repair of the copying machines, the printers, and the service technicians that have to come in and do all that stuff doesn't really make sense, does it? Yeah, so somebody figured that out, didn't they? I want to know who figured that out. They were probably like, what in the world kind of money are we spending on this stuff? I would love, I mean, if somebody knows who discovered that and then made the change, because they made the change. Now, you don't get your full rap sheet in the envelope, in the manila envelope. Why is that? And when did that happen? That's a good question. So, just something to think about. Let's see what Wikipedia has to say about this. Just for off the cuff here. False imprisonment here. Wrongful imprisonment. Yep, because that's what Georgia likes to call it. So you can make up names for whatever you want to. I'm going to go to the period. Okay? I'll go to the period of everything. I'm not stopping until there's justice for the victims of Lowndes County. This is obviously not just about myself. And God bless you, Jackie Johnson. You thanked me for the video. I thank you for fighting and standing up for the rights of everybody. And it's sad that this had to happen and this had to come to such a traumatic event. But we all know that it does take that. It does take that awakening to say, wow, I can't believe that this kind of stuff was going on and under our nose. I can't believe it. So it's discouraging to look at it's seemingly like there is no change taking place in Lowndes County. But there is, and this is it right here. This is it, and I'm not talking about myself, guys. You. It's about you. It's not about me. It's about you. It's all about you guys. I'm just here. I'm a messenger. God works through myself, and no, I'm not some goody two shoes, whatever you want to call me. I'm not trying to put myself on some pedestal above you or above anybody else. Okay, I'm not better than you. You all have talents and abilities. You're all beautiful people. You all have potential, and you've all been damaged to some way, shape, or form by this system of corruption that you're surrounded by, and that you're raising your children in. And I know you, and I know some of you, and I'm real sad for your children because I know for a fact some of your children are not going to turn out to 100% of what they could be, and that's one of my excuse me, one of my next ventures down the artistic road is pointing that out. But I digress. Imprisonment occurs when a person is redirected in their personal movement within any area without justification or consent. Actual physical restraint is not necessary to false imprisonment case. I love that. This is pretty sweet here now. Look at this. False imprisonment is a common law felony and a tort. It applies to private as well as government detention. When it comes to public police, the proving of false imprisonment is sufficient to obtain a writ of habeas corpus. Let's look at that. Let's look at so we can determine because this is not a term. Look at medieval Latin, literally meaning literally that you have the body is a recourse in law through which a person can report an unlawful detention or imprisonment to a court and request that the court order the custodian of the person, usually a prison official, to bring the prisoner to court to determine if the detention is lawful. The writ of habeas corpus is known as the great and efficacious writ in all manner of illegal confinement. That's a beautiful word. So many people. Efficacious. So you can look up with Google. Typically, of something inanimate or abstract, successful in producing a desired or intended result. Effective. The vaccine has proved both hot, efficacious, and safe. Look what we found. You guys, man, this is just an insane clownish world that we live in, and those are my other hints in the video. The cartoon depiction. That was intentional. And that's what it means. It feels like I'm in a cartoon, both before I was arrested and after, and still to this, however many times it's been, 13 freaking times or something. You guys see, that's what I'm saying. You guys are going to want to settle with me out of court because I'm going to draw up. I don't know what else to do. I don't want to I'm not trying to threaten. So what I thought about was that, if you guys owe me this much money, the county owes me this much money, you guys want to settle, that's fine, but I'm going to take this money and direct it towards victims and causes that are going to help Lowndes County. So, I mean, I'm just going to fight corruption every way, every freaking way. I don't care if I'm going to pinpoint every stinking thing. If I find anything in your ass, or around your nose, or around anything, I'm going to point it out, and I'm going to hold you to it. All of you, every stinking one of you. I'll gang up with witnesses on every stinking candidate that thinks you want to go against me, or you want to go against any other person that might want to run who's got a liberty mind. There's people there. There's people that care in Lowndes County. There's not a whole lot, but I know who cares, and they know who they are, and you guys know. I apologize for not having everything set up exact. I've got this flipped around here. It's just little things like that that I'm getting used to. Um, and see, like I can flip this right here. We're gonna transform myself, and I'm gonna flip myself horizontally. So I'm looking over here. So it's just little things like that. I've been fine tuning, and you guys, feel free to venture off into this right here. But I have something to say. I mean, I really do. I have to do this. This is something that I have to do. I don't have a choice in this. This is something that has to be taken care of. And look how God is providing for us. He's given me a blank check. Do you see this? I'm not even going to say, I don't have to say anything. You guys see it. I'm done. I went to the period. That's it. You guys already know what it is. I've already explained myself. You can look back in my videos. There's some with me getting emotional, and there's some with me being straightforward and calm and collective and all that stuff. But that's me. That's what happens to you when 20 years of your life revolve around somebody maliciously taking everything from you and causing you to be the burden and seemingly the burden on everybody around you. You're the problem for 20 freaking years, man. So I'll tell you what, you go through that. You go through every day, every hour, and every loud decibel of incarceration and lack of sleep and lack of nutrition that I went through. I hope you see my eyes. I hope you really do. Some of you cynical little snide little punks. You're punks. I'm real. I don't know who you are. I'm always continually trying to learn. I'm trying to make myself better. I want to have time to read. I wanted to have an education. I got an education despite all of this. And I got in the hospital. I started working at South Georgia Medical Center as a felon to get my degree. And I don't care that you know this right now because I've got the degree to prove it. I was in your hospital. A felon was in your hospital for flowers and sugar, dealing with you and your patients constantly coming through there. And some of the same sicknesses over and over and over, with your doctors prescribing the same thing over and over and over. You think that's going to make me feel good and complete working back there, artificial light all day, $14 an hour starting out with a bachelor's degree, when I can come straight into Florida and make 5 times that amount? Adding up all the factors,